Hi guys, welcome to this video on vision and wins. Now, why do you need a vision? Well, we're all here because we want to change something. And if you want to change something, you need to know where you're moving to, not just what you want to move away from. If motivation is the stick, then an inspirational vision is the carrot. So creating an inspirational vision, and this is dreaming big and not limiting ourselves, but creating something that's so attractive to us at a deep emotional level that it really resonates with us and it becomes our North Star, our guide through this process. From that, we can set our goals and we can get a little bit more specific and we can get a bit more traditional in terms of goal setting, making them smart, etc. But it starts with that vision, that passionate idea for the person that you can be, the person that you want to be, the person that you are already, if we can free you from self-sabotage and give you the confidence to believe that that vision is possible and real for you. But you have to believe that that vision is possible and very much real for your future self. So practically on a day-to-day basis, your vision is serving as a reminder of where you want to be. Therefore, it's a source of inspiration, more powerful than motivation, but it's a compelling reason to do what you've got to do that day to get there. We are all beset by stresses and struggles. Life is nothing but struggle and misfortune. So however motivated we are to change, at some point in the near or distant future, we're going to be derailed by something. In order that that isn't the end of this process of change and growth and development, we need that inspirational vision to come back to get us through those tough times. And in the times that aren't quite so tough, just to remind us of what we're doing so that we stay present, we stay mindful of our action. In terms of what we're doing with change, our own growth, our own health, and well-being journey here, this isn't easy. Some of the things that you're going to be working on are difficult, but an inspirational vision, a compelling why, will bear anyhow. So it doesn't matter what we've got to do or how we've got to do it, if we've got that compelling reason why, that inspirational vision. And it must be compelling. It must resonate emotionally. It needs to hit you in the gut. It needs to excite you, probably scare you and daunt you a little bit as well. We're moving out of our comfort zone. Growth is a movement out of our comfort zone. We don't want to change everything at once and be completely overwhelmed, but we want to be stepping from our comfort zone into what's called the zone of proximal development. What does that mean? It just means we're stepping out of the comfort zone, but we're not doing something that's so anxiety inducing and overwhelming that we're paralyzed. So it's taking a step, the smallest possible step you can in some cases, in order to grow without trying to change everything at once. And our vision is our inspiration to do that. Think about reorientating your brain. What we believe becomes our reality. And that's because the language we use about ourselves internally affirms how we think about ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we think about our place in the world, how we think the world works. So a vision is about reorientating your brain to believe what's possible for you. Think about the power of imagination, how powerful sense memory is. For example, you can be walking down the street and smell the fragrance of an ex-partner, and suddenly you look over your shoulder and it's as if they're there. They're not there. but the connection between how they smelt and that memory, that emotional memory of them is so strong that you're taken back to that place where you once were. Similarly, if we're watching a movie with an exciting car chase, you know, adrenaline starts to rise in the body. You start to respond to the risk, to the danger, to the peril, as you do when you're scared in a horror movie. You know, your rational brain knows that that horror threat isn't real, or that you're not really in that car, involved in that car chase, but nonetheless, at a subconscious level, you're responding to something. And that subconscious state is so much more powerful than we give it credit for, in terms of we believe ourselves to be rational actors who are making every decision on a considered basis. But we know that not to be true. You know, we have now the scientific studies, the brain imaging studies that show us that that isn't the case, that actually what's happening in terms of our decision making is much more subconscious than we like to believe it is. That doesn't mean that we don't possess free will, because you can, through developing a vision and some of the other mindset practices that we're going to touch upon in this program, start to rewire your brain. That's the beauty of the brain. It's plastic. It's capable of changing, and therefore you're capable of changing. So why practically now is that vision so important for your health and body, for your mind-body upgrade? Well, because that vision allows us to set goals. The goals allow us to assess how close we are to achieving them, or how close we are to achieving the stepping stones toward those goals. What action are we taking in the right direction? So we get to assess our direction to our goals. And then that allows us to be intentional. What am I going to do today to not change everything at once and completely overwhelm myself, but what am I going to do today to just move the needle a little bit in the direction I want to go? How can I pursue that 1% improvement? Step out of my comfort zone, but just a little bit, the minimum amount to get me to where I want to be. So your vision is a compass. It's offering you direction, but it's also holding you accountable on a daily basis. Am I doing what I need to be doing? It helps with decision making. Everything can be simplified to the question of when you don't know what you should have for lunch, when you're considering that extra drink, when you're wondering whether to stay up and watch another episode of that box set, when you're thinking, oh, I want to stay on social media, but I should put my phone away because of blue light exposure. When you're thinking, oh, I can't really be bothered, but, you know, should I go to the gym today? Simplify it all down to the simple question. Does this take me closer or further away from my vision? Decision making is simplified in that way. And so when we're setting intentions, we're thinking about, does it take me closer or further away from my vision? So we're taking intentional action to move closer to that vision, even just a little bit, pushing that 1%, moving that needle a little bit, right? And why does this work? It works because the regions in your brain that are responsible for intention, in turn, fire up the action centers in your brain. So you literally make things possible by intending to do them. You start that process. So having a vision, relating to how far away you are from it, thinking about your intentions to get you closer to it, create the actions that deliver you to the vision. It's a virtuous circle. So what I want you to do on finishing this video is to come up with your 3-year vision. Now, a year from now can feel a little bit too close and could maybe prevent us from dreaming big. 5 years from now can feel a bit disconnected from our reality. 3 years sits in a nice place where it's sufficiently far away that you are going to free yourself from some of those instantaneous thoughts about why you can't achieve what you dream of achieving. And I ask you just to park those for a moment and go with the process, not worry about the how. Think about why you're doing this. Think about what you're capable of being, what you want to be in that big picture, and encompass all areas of your life. You know, this isn't just about your health and well-being. Your health and well-being is the centerpiece that allows you to thrive professionally, that improves your personal relationships, improves your mental and emotional health, and therefore is the foundational piece in your health and happiness. You know, so think health, wealth, love, happiness. Where do you want to be in 3 years' time? Where can you be in 3 years' time? And then from that, we come backwards. We go, okay, so if that's the big picture in 3 years, where do I need to be in 2? Where do I need to be in 1? And then from that 1 year vision, that is not just looking ahead 1 year in a limited way, but it's going, right, big picture is 3, and now I'm coming back to 1. You're going to break that down into quarters. So, you know, where am I going to be 9 months from now? 6 months from now? What do I need to do to get there? How do I go from where I am now to where I want to be in 6 months' time? What are my daily intentions? Some of the intentions you're going to set will remain consistent through that 3 year period, but some are going to evolve. They're going to deepen. You're going to ask more of yourself as time goes by, or they're going to transition as things move around in your life. But ultimately, they're taking you in the direction of that vision. So set it to quarters. You're going to come back to 3 months from now, and you're going to create your set of intentions in time that take you to that 3 month way marker. But right now, I want you to think of that 3 year vision. Okay. That's piece 1 today. Piece 2 is wins. Now, what we're doing with wins is we're building the burden of positive proof. What does that mean? That means you're rewiring your brain in favor of seeing all the good stuff that you're doing to move you towards your vision. We're naturally negative. We're hardwired to be negative. It was a fantastic survival strategy in our evolutionary past. It was much better for us as human beings to jump 100 times out of 100 if we heard a rustle in the bushes in case there was a tiger once, than there was to be blasé about that rustle in the bushes and then get eaten by the tiger. Right? So we're hardwired to be negative. It was a good survival strategy. Just because it was a good survival strategy doesn't make it a great way to walk around in the modern world. Because fortunately for most of us, we're not at risk of predation by tigers any longer. So the idea of wins is to, at the end of every day, be noting everything that you've done that pushed that 1%, that moved that needle for you in a direction closer to your vision. And so you're reminding yourself, you're being your own form of validation that you're taking action, that you're doing what you need to do to succeed, achieve your goals, realize that vision, and be that healthier, happier version of yourself that you desire to be. Good luck with it all.